Hello everyone, how are you today? Happy Wednesday evening. And today is it the first? No, well, it's the 2nd of February where I am in Australia. I get confused. It's the 1st of February, another month. It's Valentine's month. So let me know where you are tuning in from as you come and watch the live. I love to know where everyone's watching from as we get started. So today I'm going to be showing you how to use gold leaf. If you've never used gold leaf and gold sizing, which is the adhesion with your stencil products, I'm going to show you how I practiced a little bit this week using some hearts. Speaking of Valentine's, we're not going to be doing exactly that today, but this is my demo piece on how to use gold leaf on a project. So I'll be showing you my top tips because I did a few different ways to show you how to do that. So hi everybody, hi, Candy's here. Oh, I've got to put my glasses on. Let me just see if I can see our live here. There we are. You can see comments coming down a bit easier. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening I should say. Deb's here, Sue's here, Evelyn's here, Joyce Ann, Barbara's here, Dominica's here, Marcy. So glad to see you everybody. I hope you're all well and not too cold. It is a hot day here in sunny Queensland, Australia, where I'm from. Got the aircon pumping though, so thanking Jesus for the aircon here in our house. So who's got their spring bundles already? I've got some good news for you today. This is the last day, so you have till midnight tonight, probably. I just checked the little ticker on the clock. 4 hours, 22 minutes and 40-something seconds you've got left if you would like to order the spring bundle, pre-order the spring bundles, the honeybee bundle. There's 2 different bundles there you can choose from, or take them both. You always use my code, I restore stuff, for 10% off. Now the bundles, when they've bundled these stencils all together, they automatically reduce that price by, I don't know, some percentage, 10% I think, but you get a further 10% off using my code I restore stuff. Thank you so much for doing this. For those of you who love to share our lives, if you know someone who would be interested in a DIY craft or even on using this gold sizing that I'm going to be gold leafing something today, a stencil project, why don't you just hit that little button, share it around to your friends and family. Diana, it's cold there in Iowa. I'm so sorry. I hope you have heat going on. Sonia's here. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Kathy. Okay, a couple of different stencil sets that I'll be using today from the Spring Bundle collection. Oh, another important good news, the other good news I was going to tell you about is, so first good news, you still have time. You've got 4 hours and 21 minutes left to order any of this, pre-order any of the Spring Bundle. If you pre-order today, the shipping should start around the 13th of February, I believe. But guess what? Free shipping has been extended to today only. So you have until that bundle offer is over till the free shipping runs out. So that means if you want to order single sets of anything, just add some brushes on there while you're there. If you're needing stencil brushes, bridging brushes, any of the wood products, you can add those in free shipping. You will get free shipping this today only. Okay, so there's our good news. I will probably mention a few things a few times during the live because we have people joining and then leaving the live and joining. But I love to see who's here. And there's my blog page. You can follow me at I Restore Stuff on any of the social media platforms or irestorestuff.com. I love to restore furniture, so that's what I do. If you've never been here before, let me know that too. I'm about to shift the camera down to point on our project that we're working on today. But please let me know if you're brand new to stenciling or any of the stencil products, or if you've never watched one of our lives before, let us know in the comments. Now the reason you want to join in the comments is because that's where we select our winners from. Yes, we're giving away some stencils on the end of our live to 3 lucky winners. So if that's you, we do choose from in those comments. So thank you, Bronwyn. Thank you so much for sprinkling the love and sharing our live around. Hi, Pam. Hi, Cindy. And Melissa's here too. Hello. All right, now one of the stencil things I wanted to use today is actually, I've got a little flag on it here to remind me, there's a couple of the stencils that are only available if you purchase the bundle, and this is one of them. This is free with the spring bundle, so it's only free with the spring bundle. It's a bonus stencil, so to speak. So this says, be our guest and make yourself at home. Isn't that just the cutest? So you can get this as a bonus if you order the spring stencil set. The other set that I'm going to be using today, oh, now I've forgotten which ones I'm going to use. Okay, out of it. It's Whimsical Wildflowers. So I'll show you some of the ones in that. Whimsical Wildflowers. Now, if you saw some of my live last week, in between that live and today, I've actually created another 2 stencil videos that I shared on my I Restore Stuff page. So I Restore Stuff, if you go to there on Facebook, you'll see those, or on Instagram, you'll see those. Joyce Ann, you've ordered 3 times. Yeah, well, stenciling, there's so much you can do with these stencils, making crafts for gifts for people. A lot of people start to sell their signs and things on in markets and things like that. So there you go. So the Whimsical Wildflowers is this set. We've got Love Grows here. I'll just show you some of the stencils in the set. We've got this one, says Stay Wild. I've got myself stuck, guys. There we go. Stay Wild, very cute. Lots of little wildflower signs on here. Grow Happy Thoughts, very cute. And we always have our instructions that come with every stencil set. Wild at Heart, beautiful sunflower by the looks of it on there. And then these 2, which I'm hoping to use today, she is a wildflower, and this one, which is an envelope. So I'm going to try and do 2 projects today, but we'll see how we go. But I do want to show you that gold leaf and how to use that. So this one I'm going to be doing on a round. Now this is just an MDF round. Here's one of the projects that I did this week. You can see this bunny transfer sign, and I show you how to use the bridging brushes on this one over on my page, I Restore Stuff. You'll see that video. And the other 2, I've already taken them into my shop booth, and so I don't have them here to show you, but on one of them, I did use that gold leaf, the gold sizing. This is a practice board that I did use it on. So you can see the hearts, see them shimmering in the gold there. So I'll show you a couple of ways, the best ways that I've found to use it. This is just MDF craft board. It's about 10 inches round, so I'll be using that for one of my projects. But first, let's get started with this sign, because I think it's going to be the quickest and the easiest. I'll show you a little bit of gold sizing on that. And this is just a board that I found at a thrift store. I love thrift store finds. A lot of you who have seen me here before will know that I love picking up things that I can paint and reuse from a thrift store. So what it did have on here was some random image, picture, I don't know. So I just sanded it back a bit, scuff sanded it. I didn't have to strip it right back to raw wood, although you could do that too. And then I've just painted it in this really soft, subtle off-white colour that's a fusion mineral paint colour called Sterling. So it's just a kind of a light, very light pale grey. And I'm going to be popping my sign on there. Now, a lot of times when I find things at a thrift store, I haven't cut the wood to the size of the stencil. So you can see that this extends past the wood there. So I have to just adjust my crafting. So I love to do that too, and I love to show you tips on how to do that. So let's just remove this one from the packet. And I'll point the camera down so you can see a little bit more clearly what we're working on today. There we go, we're all in the shot. I'll put it upside your way, so I'm working upside down here. So see how the leaves are going to go on the outside there. So I'm simply just going to leave those off because I think the sign will look fun just by itself like that. So what you could do is tape it off. I'm going to center it around about there. I also thought I'd use this section here and just show you a quick tip on shadowing. So you guys seem to love it when I show the shadowing technique, and every time I do shadowing on a live, I have people commenting, I've never tried that before, and comments like, I want to try the shadowing. So let's see, oops, Now this painter's tape is having a little bit of a whoopsie. All right, so I'm just going to tape off first of all this section of the wildflower that's on the side here so that I don't use it. Now sometimes to make my tape stick a little bit less on the stencil so it's easy to peel off when I'm finished, I just pop it down either on the table or on my apron, and it collects just a little bit of lint or whatever, and that makes it a little bit less tacky, so it's easy to remove. Similar thing when you're trying to tape down your stencil, you know, you could just rub it on there, it picks up a little bit of dust, and you're going to tape it there. Now because I'm doing this shadow first, I'm just going to shift it slightly down and around, but so that when we do the shadow, it sort of pops it up a bit. And I am going to use a white colour for the shadowing, and I am just going to do the shadowing on this, our guest section first. I will need to probably take off some words here if I'm not going to do shadowing for everything. So these, oh, no, not enough. Let's just use that one for the bees. I have to make it a bit longer. So what I'm doing is taping off these words because I'm only going to do shadowing on this our guest part. Now this is just a bonus stencil. I've said this earlier, but just for those who are just joining us, this one is a bonus stencil. It's a pre-order exclusive, so you can literally only get this one today, I believe, in the bundles, which you can pre-order today, and free shipping, if you didn't hear, has extended till today. So there's that good news also. All right, so I'm just going to use a white here, and this is Fusion's Colour Casement. Oops, let me move these stencils aside. Casement is a white, and I'm going to use just a random brush, and I do have, if you're just joining us, we're going to be using some gold leaf today on our stenciling project, and I'll show you how to do that coming up soon, so don't go anywhere. And if you are joining our lives for the first time, don't forget to join in the conversation for a chance to win some prizes. At the end of our live, we'll draw some winners from our fun conversation. It's always a lot of fun here, isn't it, guys? Yes, Rhonda took advantage of the free shipping on several orders. Good on you. It's extended till today. So, oops, I missed that comment. Sometimes, is the bee, I guess, the free one with the bee bundle? Oh, Kimberly, good question. This is available with the spring bundle purchase, okay? This one's available with the spring bundle purchase. I'll pop that there just in case you can read that. I'm not sure if you can. Free with the spring bundle, this one. All right, so I'm going with my white. Now you won't be able to see it a lot because it's on a grey background, but I feel like it'll just be subtle enough that it'll create a bit of a shadow to make the letters really pop. I'm just adding a bit of paint to my brush, and I'm going sort of fairly quickly with this one. You can take your time, and I'm pouncing a little bit more. You notice that? Probably because I feel like I've got a little bit too much on my brush in my rush. Offloading. So the key to good stenciling is offloading the brush. Colleen, yes, it is such a fun community of people right here on our lives. Join in for the conversation, because often in the comments you'll get lots of helpful tips from other people who have done stenciling for a long time. So it's not just us ambassadors who come live to you every weekday, but there are often people in the comments who have done a lot of things with even crafting in general, you know. So Joyce, Sharon's the queen of shadowing technique. Oh, I do love to do it. I feel like it's a really fun technique to add to your signs, just to give them an extra lift. Okay, so swirling a bit now. So now I've got a nice white background, and I'll leave my brush because I think I'm going to be using white for something else in a minute. I was going to get a plastic bag, but I didn't bring one. Got a wet cloth, but I may have to use the wet cloth for wiping off the stencil now. All right, so I'm going to remove this, And first of all, we're going to now move this because we've got our shadow down. Now we're going to do the whole rest of the words and everything in black. So put my tape down. And the B, we may do some colour on that B, but this is where I want to use the gold leaf on the B, but then also on my other stencil project. If I get time to do it, I'll be doing that in a minute. We do want that taped off because we don't want the flowers, the leaves, because they come off the edge there. So I'm going to take that off. So you can see that nice and crisp there. That turned out nicely. But to do our shadowing, I just have to quickly wipe off our white paint because we don't want the white mixing with the black when I go over it in black. Okay, so it is important to clean off. Thanks, Linda. Jewel, watching from Alabama. Someone just commented they've never tried shadowing. I'm so glad. Excited to see the bee with gold leaf, yes. So here's my practice. I'll show you this. This was a bit of a practice thing that I did with the gold leaf. Now, I sort of divided it into a few different sections, and you'll see that some are a little bit messier than others. These ones turned out nice and neatly, had nice crisp edges, and I'll show you why and the reason why as I'm doing it, but I'll let you know now. I did stencil underneath it first. So instead of putting the sizing medium down directly on the stencil, so for these ones that turned out a little messier, I put the sizing down with a stencil brush directly onto the background. But with the ones that turned out neater, I actually stenciled first with paint. And it sort of gave it a little bit of a lift so that the sizing turned out a bit neater around the edges. So that's one of my biggest tips for when you're using that gold leaf and the sizing. Just have to wet my cloth a little bit more. Okay. And I do have another bee sign that's another one of these rounds that I put on my I Restore Stuff page. You'll be able to see that. I think Essential Stencil shared that here as well. All right, so we're just doing the words and the bee first. So let's see about this bee. I'm thinking, so when we do shadowing, we've just got to shift it slightly to one side and slightly up. It doesn't matter which side you go. For this purpose, I'm just going slightly to the left and slightly up. So what we do is put it exactly where we want it first. See if I can bring this up closer to you so you can see. And you just shift it slightly to one side. We're really just going up to a corner. So, but if you just shift it slightly, hang on, let me shift. There we go. You can see the edges, and slightly up like that. So that we've just got an edge around, and what will be left behind is the white edges on the lower side, creating a shadow. Oh, okay, it's a little bit stuck. So that bee, I'm wondering, with the gold leaf, I want to put the gold leaf, yeah, let's do the whole thing gold leaf. We'll put a black background underneath it, okay? So over here you can see I've done gold leaf as my example. This was my testing the gold leaf scenario, okay? So I did a dark background and then a light background. I painted underneath these with the stencil, and these ones I just went straight onto the sizing. And so you can see that some of the ones where I just went straight on, they had a bit of rough edges down there. So that's my example. All right, now I'm going to use a black paint. Coal Black by Fusion Mineral Paint is the one I'm using. You can use any acrylic paint when you're stenciling. And just going to grab a random brush. I'll use the large one. This is the 7/8 inch brush. Now, while there is free shipping, might I add, if you do need brushes, like some people like to have an extra set or two so that when they're doing lots of signs, you can, you don't have to mix and match, wash the brushes out before going on to the next color. So when you're using different colors, that can be helpful to have an extra set. So that's something to think about when you're doing your orders. Okay, here we go. that should be dry now because it dries fairly quickly, but let's start with these words down the bottom. This is a large brush and it's covering a lot of area. So usually if I'm just doing small words, I would just use a small brush, but because we've got a mixture of the large words of our guest section of this sign, and we've got small letters, I'm just using one brush for the whole thing. So it does work. I'm just kind of, you know, doing a bit of swirling to make sure that all the black is down, right down in the letters. But I do think that the smaller stencil brushes are better for the smaller letters. But this one will be great when I come up here, and we'll get those lines in too. Okay, so I'm just dipping my paintbrush in the paint. You can see that there. And I do have an affiliate link for Fusion Mineral Paint. If you wanted that, just let me know in the comments and I'll pop the link in there for you. Okay, I'm just wiping the excess on the edge of the pot, and then I'm offloading the paint just onto a piece of cardboard. And I don't need to offload a lot because we've got large letters here. Now remember, this is the white that I'm going over the top of, and we may need an extra coat, but we'll see how we go. Maybe I'll go do the B first. So the B, we're going to add some gold leaf on top of that black that we're doing here now. And you probably, maybe you'll be able to see the black underneath in some bits, if there's any gold sizing that doesn't fit, but we'll see how we go. I love experimenting with you guys. Let me know if you have used the gold leaf on any of your stencil projects. The brand of gold leaf that I'm using today, I think it's only available in Australia. I couldn't see it somewhere else, but I did put some. There's a lot on Amazon, so I do have an Amazon list if you want that link, my affiliate link for any of the Amazon things. I've got a whole section on there. It's like a wish list type of list, shopping list for stencil supplies and things that I use or have used for creating signs, like signboards or you know, tools and things. So I've put some gold sizing and some gold leaf in there because when you're doing signs, you don't need, there is an edible kind. Did you know that there's an edible kind of gold leaf? We don't need to use that one on our signs. That one's used for cake making, so make sure you don't get one that's edible. Okay, just offloading there again. Thanks, Mike. Welcoming all the new stenciling people here to the group, to our lives. Be our guest. So for those of you who are just joining, maybe someone's shared this live with you, maybe you've just seen it pop up on your feed or the Facebook watch. We are using one of the stencils. This is a bonus stencil. If you get this spring bundle, pre-order the spring bundle, you'll get this one as a bonus, and I'm also going to be using one of the other sets from the spring bundle. Okay, there's our black. Again, just putting that in a wet cloth for now, not next to the white one, so that if we use it later. Okay, so let's see how this worked out, and we're going to be doing that B in just a second. So there's our shadowing. So if I hold that up close, you can see the white shadowing in the background there. Just makes it look a little bit more 3D and pop out. Okay, so now we're going to try, and that's quite dry, but I'll just pop the dryer on it just to be sure. Yeah, your bundles should be shipping not long now. I think the 13th of February is the estimate ship date. Okay, so let's get on to our gold sizing. And so as I was mentioning before, this is, I'll need this. May need some tweezers. We'll see how we go. I didn't use them the first time. I'm going to use a dish so that when I put this is the gold sizing. So this is the adhesion that you need to put on your gold leaf. So gold leaf will sometimes come in a pack similar to this, where you've got little sheets of paper in between the gold. It's like a blotting paper, and you can actually use that. See, I've taken some out of here, but look how pretty that gold is. I don't know if you can see that shimmer. Those are the gold leaf there, and it's so fragile that it literally tears when you sort of put it down. But I'll show you that part in a minute. First of all, I need our stencil back again, and what we're going to be doing, and I will just get this cloth again to wipe our bee. Oops, it's probably dried already. Well, in that case, we don't need to worry too much about drying the bee. I do clean my stencils, but I'll do that after the live. It's not really time to do that when we're trying to go live here. Don't forget, anything you see today, you can use my code iRestoreStuff and get 10% off. That includes the bundles. Let's see how many hours left on those bundles. 4 hours and 13 minutes. Okay, so this is the gold sizing. What I'm going to do, so we need this to adhere the gold leaf. Okay, so I'm just going to pop a little tiny bit in the jar here, and literally I've just got a dribble of it in there. So what we want to do is put some of this on and then wait till it's dry. So usually, you know, glue, you sort of need it to be wet, but this one you wait till it's dry and it sort of has a tacky feel, and then you add your gold on. So because I'm going to be putting it on the bee, I've done a background here. Now, where I was explaining to you before, on these hearts here, they turned out really nice and neat, whereas some of the ones down the bottom had fuzzy edges. And what I realized is I didn't have my image already stenciled on. When I just put this gold sizing on for the gold leaf to adhere to, it kind of bled under a little bit too much. And so it really did help to have a stencil already under there to give it some kind of background. And then it's almost like it's a little bit raised, and you can, I don't know if you can see, it's sort of the gold leaf on top of that. So that's one of my tips anyway for using it. So again, we're going to put the bee exactly on. We're not making a shadow with this gold or anything. We're just going to put the bee exactly where it's supposed to be. And use this to go down here. I'm just using the 1/2" brush, and I'm just putting a little bit in there, and I'm wiping that glue or sizing off on the edges, and I will try not to get on those lines because I just want the bee, and I will just make sure it's sort of offloaded a bit, but we want to make sure we've got a good bit of glue on here. So what I'm going to do with this sizing is more dab it than do my swirling method, okay? So this is the sizing glue for the gold leaf to stick onto. And after I did this the other day on my other bee project, which you can see I sort of divided a round into quadrants and did a nice little bee stencil, and I used that gold leaf. Just to be sure, I'm going to just add a little bit more, offload a bit, and going over that black bee. But experiment for yourself if you like using the gold leaf, because you know, if you just want to experiment on something, you can use it on cardboard or just random, you know, this is literally a sign that I found at a thrift store, so it's not really important. So, you know, you could try it on something like that. Okay, I'm lifting this off so you can't see any difference because this sizing is clear, and as it dries, let me just, should have bought some plastic to wrap these in. Okay, as it dries, it gets tacky. So we want to make sure it's quite dry. So, you know, it just looks like you've just still got the black stencil there. I want to make sure that's dry. And it doesn't take too long. Oh, thank you so much for sprinkling, you guys. And you will feel that it's a little bit tacky on the surface. So now here's the tricky part. Well, not too tricky, but the gold leaf, I think it's double-sided. Oh, I can see there's a piece here that I've half used. I've just kind of torn a piece off. And you can either use your fingers or you can use some tweezers to pick it off. I'm going to actually take one of these little blotting papers and use it as something to kind of hold it or rub it down with. So once you've got the leaf on, the sizing, oh, there's a little piece that's kind of just got stuck on now. You can grab a big chunk, like I'm going to do that right now. Why don't I just get the whole chunk? Use that right here. But it is so, so fragile. It's just really, really, there we go. I'm going to put that blotting paper on the top, and it's easier to rub your fingers over the top of that. So where the bee is, it's going to stick. The gold leaf will stick onto that bee because we've got that sizing material on it. I've used the sizing on other things like for furniture and pieces like that, but I haven't used it on stencils until this last week, and I was really hanging to try it out. So for all of the leftover gold, we can use that for other projects. So if you can save it in your little piece of paper here. But I've got the aircon going, I can see it sort of blowing around. I hate to waste anything, but I'm just going to peel it off, put it in chunks down here if I can, and then I'm not going to worry about those bits that are coming off there. What? There we go. Stay in there. Okay, now we've got this down. I'm going to use just a dry brush. This is a very dry brush. It's got nothing on it, and I can see some little bits that don't have the sizing stuck to it. So I'm going to grab a piece, and I can still see some black there from the stencil, and we just want to tap that down, make sure it's all on all of the surfaces. So that's where you just got to make sure that you've got your gold leaf on all the black surfaces where the stencil was. So making sure it's all down there, and then we can do the big reveal. Rose, you said you just got a third set of brushes and more stencils. Great having free shipping. It is. So if you missed that announcement, free shipping has been extended to today. So anything else you thought, oh man, I wish I'd gotten that while the free shipping was on, like brushes, anything like that, go ahead and do that today. Only until midnight tonight. All right, so now here's the part where, can you see that gold shimmering? So we've got a big blob here, but because we've put that sizing on our bee, as I brush this off, we should see all that's left is a gold bee and its wings. So I'm brushing that, and it will just, that gold leaf will probably get everywhere, but that's okay. We'll brush it off. And so I'm even brushing in between its stripes there. You can sort of see that there. And the brushing kind of just removes any parts that, as we go into the detail, let me just pick this up a little bit further. Just brush this off down on my table and sweep it up later. Okay, so in between the wings there's some spacing. So I just want to really scrub my brush around to those wings. You can see that coming off there. Hopefully you can see that, and it's not too, it's probably shining, the lighting. Trying to see what I'm doing and see the video camera at the same time. And depending on, you might see some of that black coming through, but that's okay. So I do have some tweezers that I brought here. Here they are. So I can see that there's one little stripe right here that I know that that's not sizing in between there. So being very careful not to scratch the paint underneath. I think it is. Let me refer to my stencil. Where is it? Right there. Oh, I see. Yeah, it is supposed to be off, but that's okay. It still looks great. What do you think? Then go over that with my brush again. There we go. Now we've got the little gap there that's supposed to be there. And then we've got literally that gold floating around in different spots everywhere. It's actually got a little bit stuck to the G on the top of Be Our Guest. I'll fix that up later with a bit of sandpaper. Let's see if we can see that. gold bee. Isn't that cute? Now we could have done that with a bit of shadowing because that might have looked really good, and then you could sort of see the bee outline a little bit more because it sort of does get a bit lost with that that look. But how do you like that? I like that gold leaf stuff. All right, so on for our second project, and I'll clean my stencil later, is this round that I bought. It was just an MDF round, and I'm using two of the stencils actually from the, let me pop this down, it's called Whimsical Wildflowers. Okay, so I may just get part of this done today. We'll see how we go. Thank you guys. Yeah, I think the gold leaf goes great with that bee set. But I wanted to do a gold envelope. I just thought this would be cute with a gold envelope, and she is a wildflower. What was I thinking with this? Maybe I was thinking of that. She is a wildflower. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe up here. I think I was going to go wildflower, and then she is along here. So we'll see how far we get done with that. Really would love to do this gold leaf idea though. So we're going to use white for this one, and I do have my white brush that I was using earlier. The one thing about this gold leaf, it does get everywhere. It does. My white paint and my offloading. Bernice, you've never seen or heard of gold leaf. Yeah, it is so much fun. And you can use it for, the edges of furniture and things like that. That's where I've seen it done mostly. I hadn't really seen it done with stencils, so I thought I'd give it a go, and I'm liking what I see. I'm liking the experiment so far. Okay, here's our white brush of paint. It was starting to dry out a little, so you could just opt for a new brush. So we're going to pop this with the wildflowers. I'm just going to do it all white, and was going to, because these are just lines, okay, so the gold sizing we will be filling in, so you see it on a light surface. Now we'll see it on the darker surface, and this is the colour Casement by Fusion Mineral Paint. So we're going to use that sizing to fill in these lines of the envelope. We could do the flowers in gold too, but I just think it'd be fun just seeing, how those beautiful wedding invitations might come in a gold envelope, for example. Let's do it all white. And then when the live's finished, I just want to get this main part because I should have taped. Welcome, Alicia. Alicia must be new to stenciling, are you? That is so cool. Thank you guys so much for welcoming the new people who have never stenciled before. Don't forget there's prizes at the end of our live, so don't go anywhere. Join in the conversation, and we will announce the winners when we finish the live. And our spring bundles and the honeybee bundle. So that one that I just did, the Be Our Guest, was a bonus stencil if you order the spring bundle. And this set is a part of the spring bundle, but there's also a gorgeous, gorgeous honeybee bundle. They've bundled all the stencils up together. Ah! Me and my chatting and not taping it down. Did you see that? Oh well. Big mistake. Do as I say and tape it up, not as I do. Michelle, welcome. It's all new to you. Okay, so I've probably made a little bit of a mess right here, but hopefully it's like one of those, what does Bob Ross say? It's a happy little accident. We'll make something out of it. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I have my envelope. That's the edges of the envelope. So some stencils will be outlines and some stencils have the filling in area, So this gold leaf, it's just going to keep floating around, you guys. I'm going to be picking it up for days. So we've got the outline of our envelope there. I'm just going to show you how we can use our sizing and gold leaf to fill in the envelope and make a gold envelope for then adding our words later. So I'll just do that later. I'll do the gold sizing again for you so you can see how that goes. I'm just going to add, she is a wildflower down the bottom here. And of course, I may not use that tree, so we'll tape that off. All right, gold sizing is here. It hasn't all dried out. I will use this brush. And what I'm going to do is, I may need a bit more in here because it probably is drying out. So this is the gold sizing, which is the glue that adheres the gold leaf to the project. So whether you're using it for furniture, let's see if they've got examples. Yeah, like they've done it on an ornate, like a frame, a picture frame on the example. And I do have some examples of gold leaf and gold sizing in my Amazon shop. Now, this looks, I did it on black surface the other day and it kind of comes out green. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that green, but look at that color. I'm working on this quickly because it does dry fairly quickly. So I'm going to try my best to, I should be using those tiny brushes maybe for this. Oh, that's not too bad. I'm getting there. And so we're getting gold sizing all around there. So we will see these white edges. And they don't just have gold too, guys. It's metallic, like a gilding, I suppose you would call it. I don't know, some artists here in the group chat might be able to tell me. But it does come in copper and silver, and there's all sorts of different leaves you can get. And you can probably get them at your local craft store. If you have a look in those sections, now you'll know some ideas of what to do with them. So we've done one section there. We'll watch how quickly that dries. And you're just painting on a thin layer, and it's basically sort of like a tacky glue that that lets your gold leaf stick to it. If you do have questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I often can't get to them on the live, but I like to go in afterwards and answer any questions that you might have there. If you need my Amazon affiliate link for where you can get some gold sizing. I didn't see the same brand that I'm using now, but there are so many different ones out there. Look, this one's dried already, and this one is still looking a little greenish, but that's just the color it turns out as it's on black. I can even see it's on this dark color on my brush, and in here it sort of looks a little bit, maybe it has a tinge of green, but it looks fairly white. Okay, now I've got to get around these flowers because I didn't really want gold on the flowers. Nope. Concentrating. And I still want to see those white stripes in there, so I'm trying to be neat. Because once you put the gold on there, it just goes, the gold will go just wherever you put this glue stuff. So let's see if I can get it in amongst the flowers. I feel like it's starting to dry. Oh boy. This is tricky, you guys. Maybe use a smaller brush. Just trying to use the ends of it. Don't know if you can see that far away. Whoa. All right. So that's our sizing, and look how quickly that dried. So we've just got a little bit wet on there on, I don't know if that's your left or your right. I'm doing these things upside down. Okay, so that brush I'm probably finished with now, so we will pop it in there, and then we'll go ahead. Let's just dry that off properly. There goes my gold leaf all over the house. Alrighty. It's exciting, isn't it? I love this. Sandy says you have a steady hand for this. Oh. What type of glue do you use for the gold leafing? It's actually called gold size, and so you have to get the gold size or metallic size. I don't know. It's just usually called that. Anywhere I've found it, it's called gold sizing or gold size. Yeah, let me know if you want that Amazon link. I can give you that. So now we're just going to grab our gold leaf, and here's some of those random pieces that I had earlier, and you can literally just piece it all together. So we've just got all around here to go. Just add that bit there. This bit here is off the edge, so we'll just grab this, oop, add a bit more. So you're just kind of randomly placing it down, and you can literally have little bits and pieces, and it almost is like, oh, you know those the Easter egg wrappers where it's not like that. This is so much thinner than Easter egg wrappers. But you know when you're trying to, I don't know, did you ever as a kid smooth out your wrappers and try and save them? I don't know why I did that, but it just seemed like satisfying to do, you know. Smoothing out those wrappers. Okay, here's another piece that we can just add here. So let me grab this large chunk, and then I'll come up a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing with these random excess pieces. So we've got this random piece here, and I can see we need a spot there, and I've placed it upside down, but it's really the same both sides, this gold leaf. Place some over here, place it there. Got a bit here that's, see there's a little gap, grab that, put a bit of leaf there. This is where your tweezers might come in handy. Let's see if I can use that. Now you can probably see my hands shaking a bit more. Just finding every little piece where you can see that there's a bit of gold leaf that's not stuck down, and you just spread your fingers across. You can use a piece of plastic, or I just use these blotting papers that are in between. Making sure that everywhere there's gold sizing, that's the glue, that it's rubbed down on top of that. So I can see some little gaps here. Let's see if we can just grab a bit of gold leaf and add that there. But it's the kind of thing, it's really kind of quite artistic, and you don't have to have all the little bits and pieces filled. Yeah, that one just blew away out of my hands. And there's a piece there. Let's see if we can stick it in. And then once you've got all the pieces on, that's when we can brush it off. I'm just going to grab this piece, see if it'll go onto the edges there. Okay, so now that we've got that on, oh, here's another large piece. Now this is not attached, so I'm going to lay it back down on here where I can see a small gap. I want to fill that up. There we go, it did, it filled up. All right, then we're going to get a dry brush again. This is a dry one, and just get those edges so the gold leaf is flying off. And you can see those white edges of the envelope right there. Rub it all down. I went close to the edge, and here's the flowers, so here's where I went close to the edge of the flowers. So you can use your paintbrush to, you know, add some to those flowers later if you wanted to. It's another dry brush. Just going to push it a little bit further. Maybe I've got my sizing. And now, so these are the lines in the center here, in the middle. We're going to really see if I can get that off, because I had those white lines ready. There we go. You can see the white line in between the envelope, and you can see a little bit of the black surface underneath. Oh, I roughened up that edge a little bit too, so you can see that there. I kind of distressed the gold leaf. That's a fun idea too. Wow, so much you can do with this. I love experimenting with you guys. All right, let's just dust all that off. And yes, we've got a few minutes left where I can just put the words down underneath part. Wow, hope you enjoyed that. The gold leaf is just stunning. It looks like a gold envelope. Check it out. I love it. Well, I'll be playing with that for a little while, I think, on different projects. Let's see if we can add our other words down here. But literally, it gets everywhere, but it's such a fun idea. Okay, I will need some tape for this one. I'm going to place my word wildflower right near the bottom, and I'm going to tape off the, how am I going to do that? The W. so that we don't get the branch, because, well, it might fit, but I want to put She Is A down under here. Thanks, Joyce Ann. Yeah, Judy, it is stunning. I love it. I love it too. I will just tape over this just to remind me not to paint on those words. And I'll grab my white brush again, which is kind of drying out again. Just going to do white just for simplification of the project. I may go afterwards and, you know, fill in some of these flowers or something like that. Maybe do them a different color. I had all plans for doing some different colors here, but okay. I've offloaded from the brush as much as I can. And again, if you go to my page, I Restore Stuff on Facebook, or onto my Instagram account, you'll see the other videos the other video that I did with Buzzy Bees, which was a great gold leaf project. I did a sped up version, so it's not as detailed as what I'm doing for you live now here. So this, if you wanted to share with anybody the detailed version, this is how, you know, I've got more of an explanation, and we've got the time factor, whereas those quick videos I did, they're easy to watch and easy to just get the quick, simple instructions. If you wanted to go to my page, I Restore Stuff, you'll find them there. Okay, there's a wildflower, so that is cute. Then I'm going to shift it, and we are going to need the words She Is A. Let's see, that will fit there. And then if I put She over here, let's start with She. I think we'll fit it if we do that. Oop, don't want to accidentally do the dot on the eye and ruin my project. So any parts that you go, I want to, you know, try and avoid hitting, make sure you take them off. Oops, too much paint on my brush there. Pouncing and swirling. Hopefully I didn't have too much. So if you have too much on your brush, you do get fuzzy edges, and that's the idea of offloading your paintbrush. I did get a smudge there, which I can probably either sand off later or wipe it now. It is a bit easier to wipe it now, but let's see if we've got... Wow, the aircon's on today and it's really drying things out quite quickly. Okay, She Is A. So we want to space this nicely. So when you're spacing your words, I'm just taking into account that edge there and the gaps in between. Hopefully I've done it in the right spacing. Let's see, that S I feel like has to line up with the bottom of that S, because the S's tend to go down. So different fonts have different things, and a bit more of a gap, so kind of getting an eyeball here. You could do all your measuring. Hopefully, yeah, I think that's going to be perfect. So I'm just going to tape this down up here, and then tape the She word, and then, oh, I do need this one for this wildflower, so I don't get that in there. Kathy, love learning something new. That's me too. I do too. And I'm glad I found this gold leaf. I've had it for years, and I've used it in little sections, like on pieces of furniture for edging pieces, or, you know, add a bit of bling to my furniture painting projects, which is what I love to do, is upcycling furniture. But I hadn't used them until this week on stencils, and the idea came to me a couple of months ago, and I thought I'd love to use those on something. When we had our honeybee set come out, the bundle that's on offer today, I thought, oh, they'd be great for bees. Perfect for bees. So I've used one. If you missed this one earlier, we did a gold leaf on the bee right there. Be our guest and make yourself at home, which is gorgeous. Gorgeous sign. That's a bonus with the spring bundle, only available with the spring bundle, so get that today. And then this one is from the spring collection. She Is a Wildflower. No, that's not the name of the set. The set is Whimsical Wildflowers. So I'm using 2 of the stencils from that today. So guys, hope you learned something about whatever, gold leaf today, or stenciling, or shadowing, because we did some shadowing today. If you missed the first part of our live, I feel like I've got gold leaf everywhere. We're sprinkling gold everywhere, guys. That was fun. Okay, so we are going to be getting ready to pick some prize winners, but let's just go over what we've done today. We used this random board that I found at a thrift store, created a fun guest sign, and that is a bonus free with the spring bundle. Okay, that's just with the spring bundle. If you pre-order that in the next 4 hours, you've got 4 hours left, guys. Use my code IRestoreStuff. Don't forget that. See the gold leaf just flying off. Don't forget to use that, and you get an extra 10% off anything. And don't forget that free shipping has extended to today, so that's today only, just to include our people who would love that spring bundle. And here's our last project that we did today. She is a wildflower. I'm just loving that gold leaf. I don't even know if the flowers really need color, but maybe we could even just add just a daub of gold leaf in the what do you call that? The center parts of the flowers. That would look cute too. But I like the way that's turned out, so I hope you have fun experimenting with that this week. Let's see, our winners have been announced. So if you can see your name there, you've probably been tagged. And we've got Maria, Rhonda, and Kim. You're all winners today on our Essential Stencil Live here, and you can claim your prize. Let them know you were a winner on Sharon's Live today, Wednesday night. And I will see you again for another DIY Live next week, right here on the Essential Stencils page, same bat time, same bat channel. I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember the Batman stuff. But yes, that's okay. Thank you so much. I will go through and check the comments and see if there's any questions that you had and answer any of those for you after the live. So thank you so much for watching today, guys. Congratulations to those winners. Don't forget, only 4 more hours. Grab your spring bundles, pre-orders, and get that bonus one. Woo! Bye.